Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on Friday. That's Feel Good Friday, and it is May 5th, 2023, and I am excited to be with you today as we go into the weekend. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We've got the full-on podcast going on at homegymhustleheroes.com. You can find us in iTunes, Google, all of those kinds of places. So as you go throughout your week, if you find people that need a little bit of help, a little bit of motivation, make sure that you tell them to check out the Home Gym Hustle Hero podcast. We love it when you like. We love it when you subscribe. And don't forget that I've got my challenge group this month. If you need a little bit of an extra push, if you need a little help moving forward with what you're dealing with, if you need to join in to a group, make sure that you go to joejustice.org/join. Sign up right there, and I am there with you. We do virtual workouts every Monday and Friday in May. You can join in with us, give you that little extra push to help you move forward through your day. I hope that you join us. So I wanted to come and talk to you guys today about something that I think is really important. Because yesterday I had an unbelievable schedule. You wouldn't believe all the different meetings and things that I had going on yesterday. And one of the things that people do ask me a lot, believe it or not, is, Joe, how do you do it all? How do you get it all in? You know, we see you here and there. We see you everywhere doing stuff. And you're able to eat right, you're able to stay fit, you're able to stay active, we see you at these events, we see you online, you're always posting stuff, you're always doing things, there's lots of stuff going on. How in the world do you do it? So I wanted to answer that question because I figured there's probably plenty of people that have that question and need a little help on that subject. And I wanted to give you some real clear, simple action steps, that simple kind of Grant Cardone kind of stuff where you can just say, you got to do more, got to do more, got to do more. And there's some of that, that's definitely true. You absolutely can do more. If you're used to not doing very much, the best thing to do is just start doing more. But I'm going to give you a couple of parameters that will really help you out in accomplishing your goals, moving forward, making things happen, and actually achieving that thing where you're actually doing more, getting more done. So first and foremost, let me tell you that you have to work within margins. You have to design margins because you have to give yourself a little bit of grace. So what you want to do is kind of plan out your calendar, plan out the things that you want to do, kind of have an idea of what it is that you're wanting to accomplish. But don't butt them right up against each other. So you don't want to have like meetings stacked upon meetings, because what will end up happening is you'll end up getting burned out very quickly with that. So you don't want to, you don't want to be in a situation where you're pushing yourself constantly, like every single day that you're working 27 hours a day, right? Now there are going to be days where you're going to be squeezing in those 27 hours in that day, and that's great. And you want to do that. You want to push yourself, but you also want to give yourself these margins. Like say there's something you want to do on the weekend. That's perfect. Put it on the calendar, but don't put something right after it. Give yourself a little bit of space. Okay. So the things that you want to do, you want to put it on there. You want to kind of block it out, but you want to give yourself enough space so that if you can't make it, it's not going to kill you. Now, to take a step back from that planning process, you need to establish your non-negotiables. There are certain things that you want to have on your calendar that you will absolutely do. I like to have daily non-negotiables, but there are certainly people that have like weekly non-negotiables. For example, going to church on Sundays, that's a non-negotiable, right? So if that's something that you do and you're going to dedicate your day to that on Sunday, you want to set that as a non-negotiable. That means that there's no margin there. That means every Sunday. That means tomorrow, if somebody says, hey, you want to meet for coffee on Sunday, you're going to say no to that. That's going to be a no because your Sunday is a non-negotiable. Some other examples of non-negotiables. Sleep, it should be a non-negotiable. If you're going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and then the next day you're feeling like garbage, well, there's a direct reason for that. It's because you're going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, we get into these really nasty habits with things like, sleep and not sleeping properly and, just not being consistent with sleep. You got to break that habit. You need to make sleep a non-negotiable, whether it's 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, whatever your time frame is for sleep. I go to bed around between 10 and 11, but that needs to be a non-negotiable. You're not going to stay up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning binge watching some show on Amazon or Netflix or something like that. Non-negotiable. Go to sleep. Number 2 is exercise. I always set exercise as a non-negotiable. A half hour a day. Are there days that I miss my regular workouts? So I do my regular workouts in the morning. Are there days that I miss my regular workout? Yes, but I always make it up somehow. It might be a half hour walk during lunchtime. It might be a run later on that day. It might be, just going out and going for a hike or something like that later that night. So do I miss my regular planned workouts from time to time? Yes, things come up. But that half hour of physical activity is an absolute non-negotiable. That's on the calendar. That fits in there. And then food, eating properly, eating right, that's a non-negotiable. Do not get into the habit of just running and grabbing the first thing that's available to you. That's really one of the biggest problems. That honestly, I think that and the sleep issue are the two biggest problems that we as modern humans face. Because, in the past, like our bodies aren't really designed for like quick food. You notice that like when you when you want to eat or something like that, you get these cravings and stuff like that. Well, like 100 years ago, it wouldn't have been an option. What are you going to do? Go hunt a deer? No, you had to have that kind of planned out. But you get these cravings and it makes your body, want the food. And nowadays, it's all just around you all the time. So make proper eating a non-negotiable. And that does not necessarily mean eating, on a certain schedule. I think that that's not a bad idea, but it's certainly not like a must. But you need to prepare and plan proper eating habits. I do intermittent fasting. So typically I have lunch. But I have that planned out the day before. I have that prepared. Dinner, I'd always do dinner around the same time every day. That's kind of like the family meal kind of thing. So we might do it around 6 o'clock. So we might go out to eat. We might eat at home, but have that planned so that you're not, it's not like 2:30 in the afternoon. You're like, oh man, I missed lunch. So then you just go and grab some potato chips out of the vending machine. That's when you start getting into trouble. So those are the 3 big daily non-negotiables. So this is my action step for you today in moving forward and in accomplishing your goals, getting things done, making things happen. This is my simple, plain forward action step for you today. Write down 3 non-negotiables. I gave you 3 examples. I think those are great, but see if you have any for yourself, any outside of those. Are there 3 things that you do every day that are non-negotiables? Are there 3 appointments every week that are non-negotiables? Like I say, like going to church on Sundays. Figure those out. What are those non-negotiables? Write those down and then either visualize them or put them on a calendar. I think it's actually better to physically put them on a calendar, get a printed calendar, put them on there, write them down, and then look at all that extra space that you have. So look at all that extra space that you have, and it's in that space that you're able to accomplish amazing things. So start planning it, build in those margins, set those non-negotiables. That will give you limits. Limits give you freedom, and then you'll be able to do amazing things. Again, reminder, if you want to push yourself a little bit, every Mondays and Fridays in May, we are doing a virtual workout, and I would love to see you part of it. I would love for you to join us and be part of it. Just go to joejustice.org/join. Join in with us, and I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and until then, bye-bye for now.